Hello and welcome back to another episode of FTB Interactions. Last time we managed to make it all the way to Luna and also set up our space station. And we finished the episode just short of some chrome after upgrading our blast furnaces to make the orbital laser miner. I did actually manage to get enough chrome to finish this. So I did complete the quest here and we get some Ender Spectre coils and the adjustable storage unit which we'll be using to set this up. Between episodes, I've just been batch crafting some more. I made some more circuits, some more cables, just all the components we're going to need. But the first thing I'd like to do is set this thing up. I'm not actually sure if we'll have enough power to keep it running. But if we can at least have it going some of the time, then we can collect some skystone and get stuck into Applied Energistics at least. So let's head over to our space station, set this up, and see if we've got the power to run this thing. Okay, so we're going to use the holo projector. And we want the orbital laser drill. I think here in the corner is a good spot for it. Alright, I think I figured this thing out. So I gave it a redstone signal, and I also powered all of the input plugs. We're definitely not producing enough power for this though. As you can see, some of them are empty. We'll have to do something about that, but we are getting some output here. So yeah, this guy's going to give us all of these materials on the right hand side here. And it looks like it goes to all the output hatches. Okay, so now we have to actually do something with these items. So I think what we'll do is run some item conduit all the way around. And we're going to hook it up to this adjustable storage unit. And from here we can filter all the items. So I think the way this works is you can set the number of slots and then lock them once there's items in there. Alright, well, I was going to pipe everything into this adjustable storage unit, and right here in the tooltip it says middle click to lock the slots, but no matter what I do I cannot lock these slots, and yeah, I really don't know what I'm doing wrong here, so if you guys know, maybe let me know. But instead I think I'm just going to set up a bunch of caches here, and then things like cobblestone will probably just end up voiding. So to make all of these caches that we're going to need, I think we need 20 in total. However, we are out of red alloy. And instead of making red alloy the way I was making it before in the alloy smelter, this is 4 pieces of redstone and 1 copper for one ingot. I want to instead use the blast furnace recipe, as it will half the redstone cost. So I've melted some redstone and we're just going to hook up a input hatch to the blast furnace, and then put our copper in the input. And this is going to make us more red alloy. Much more efficient this way. Alright, so I got 20 caches, and the reason I'm using caches, by the way, instead of barrels, is because you can actually enchant these guys, and hopefully we get holding on them all. I'm not sure if I'll have enough levels to do them all actually, but things like cobblestone, we don't actually need holding on that, for example, because we're just going to be voiding excess. But it'd be nice to get holding on some of the more valuable resources. We are out of EXP now. I wonder how much the simulation chamber has produced. Not very much at all, although I did use some of this already, so... I also set up this tank next to the learning chicken, which gives us just straight EXP. So like this we can turn on the EXP shower, get some levels, although it's not very much and this thing is quite slow. But I'll try and scrounge up enough to get the rest of the caches enchanted. Okay, so we got all the caches enchanted and placed. We just have to hook up some filters for these now. So I think these things can be locked. We just have to set them manually the first time. So I want to have some sort of order to this. So I think we'll do like all the junk on the left hand side and then the more valuable things on the right. And then they can be moved on to be processed. Okay, we almost have one of each item to set the filters. And I noticed that I only have one of the extracts set on this thing. And it still seems to be running. So we might be able to get away with just removing these item conduits and just hooking up the one output. And right as I take away the item conduits, it actually stops working. So it looks like we do actually need these. Unfortunately though, we can't put them right here. Maybe we'll put them underneath instead. So I noticed the item extract is actually slow, so we do need some extraction speed upgrades. But luckily this quest actually gives you them. I remember seeing this quite a while ago, but we can make use of these now. We split them in 4. We give them 3 each. I hope that's going to be enough. Oh yeah, that seems to clear the output hatches faster than we can generate resources right now. I think this was the last color we needed even. 1 block to go. Okay, so I think I got everything set up here. These ores that this gives us isn't just regular ores, it's actually dense ores. So to process these, we're going to have to set up a couple more machines. If we smelt these, we can get native clusters, or we can chemical react them with life essence and mana, and then smelt it for 4. And then after that, there's the pulverizing, then the ore washing, and then it's, I think, centrifuge. Yeah, there's a whole processing setup that we have to do, but I think for now we're just going to keep putting that off until Applied Energistics. But luckily now we can actually start Applied Energistics with Skystone. So this thing gives us Skystone, which is the piece we were missing for Applied Energistics. So let's go back and see how far we can get with that. I believe the quests are down here for Applied Energistics. Yeah, to get started in AE, you'll need Skystone from the Orbital Miner, Stellar Alloy, made from moon materials, and finally Nether Star Plates from killing withers. So one of the first things we want to craft for Applied Energistics is the controller block, and in this pack there's a very interesting compact machines recipe for it. So first of all, we have to build these field projectors, so let's grab some of these. This shouldn't be too bad at this point. Alright, so there is 4 miniaturization field projectors, and apparently a quest. So to use these things, we have to point them at each other, and this I believe is a 3x3 multi-block that we're creating. Yeah, 3x3x3, which means we need, I think, the 5x5 field projector. Oh man, these spiders. Ever since we went to space, these guys have been on my back. So yeah, I think we want them 5 blocks off the ground and pointing towards each other. So when you have them all placed correctly, you're going to see this, I don't know what you would call it, projection. And this is where we're going to build our multi-block structure. So now we have to gather all of these materials. The Skystone, of course, we have. This 82 cable, I think that's just the regular Fluix cable, if I'm not mistaken. This stuff here. The crafting monitor is going to take a little bit of crafting to do, though. This takes tier 4 circuits, dense cable, and stellar alloy. Actually, stellar alloy is something we're a bit short on. So this may be our roadblock here. There is a recipe for it, which is stardust, Fluix dust, infinity dust, black quartz, and energized glowstone. This is quite expensive, and I don't think we have stardust yet. I'm honestly not sure how to get star metal. I think it is an ore on the moon. This is only 4 stellar alloy for 1 crafting unit, which is expensive, but I don't think we need that many of these things at the moment, as I don't think we'll get into auto crafting just yet. But we also do need 1 full block, which is 9 ingots. I think we only have 8 ingots at the moment, and this is just some Certus. Alright, well, I'm going to take a little trip to the moon and see what we can get from there. Found our second dungeon here, let's see what it's got to offer us. Alright, so I got most of it cleared here, as you can see. It wasn't actually that fruitful in terms of stellar alloy, so I think we're going to have to switch up our strategy. But this was from the previous dungeon. We still got some really good stuff though. I got a few more interfaces, some more Applied Energistics things. There was some more titanium in there as well. And we even got a quantum tank, and also a draconium chest, and the size of this chest is absolutely huge, so that's going to be pretty useful. Maybe we'll use this as part of our orbital miner setup. Anyways, I think I'm going to go and get 1 more, and if we don't get so lucky with the stellar alloy, I think we will switch up our strategy and try something else. There is something from blood magic we can do, so we're probably going to have to end up looking into that. Alright, I found the 3rd dungeon here. Let's hope we get a little bit more lucky with this one. Haha, there's 6 more pieces. I'll take that, thank you. Not much else though so far. Alright, so from those 2 dungeons, that takes us up to 22 stellar alloy. I'll have to count to see how much we actually need, but this could possibly be enough. We also got some fluid components for storage, that'll be really handy. And some more ender tanks, lots and lots of illumination powder and nocturnal powder that we were looking for just a while ago. So yeah, that was definitely a worthwhile trip. Let me count to see how many stellar alloy we actually need for these. So I count 17 pieces of ingots for stellar alloy that we need for this. And none of the other components apart from the auto crafting stuff uses it. So I think we may actually be good for making our ME controllers today. Before we do that though, I do have a lot of crafting to do. I'm going to batch up quite a lot of like ME cables, processors. I'll probably make about a stack of each. I'll probably do a good 8 stacks of silicon processors. And then what is this? This is pure Certus, which has to be done with sand and Certus quartz. All of this Certus we can get on the moon, so this is going to be plentiful now. And these assemblers take hydrochloric acid, which we are actually producing. I just have a feeling this might take me a while. But let's get to it. Alright, so it's now actually the next day for me. I've been, I stayed on for about 3 or 4 hours last night, just crafting up all the materials. And I also added a bunch of extra HV machines here. So instead of, whenever I came to a process, instead of going over to the MV machines, I just added a HV version instead. So right here we have a HV mixer. And then I put down the insulator here to make pure Certus. This has to be done with the seed and glowstone. And then I have a little aqueous accumulator down there. I also made a HV macerator. I've been using this for the Fluix dust and Certus dust, things like that that have to be macerated. And then I have a compressor making Fluix dust, or sorry, just Fluix crystals. And we're getting this from the chicken actually. So I decided to make the chicken, as the other way to get Fluix is to mix Certus quartz, nether quartz, redstone and water in a mixer. This is very, very inefficient. So the Fluix enriched egg comes from the Fluix chicken, and this does require stardust. However, I was able to get about 2 stacks of stardust. It turns out it does actually spawn in the moon, along with some aluminium, I believe. So it's not the most common thing, but I was still able to get quite a bit. And the last HV machine I've added is a fluid extractor. I've been doing redstone and also glass in this one. And then over this side I made the skystone lens to give us a whole lot of processors. I still have to make them into the actual processors themselves. They're just the printed versions. So I think that's what this assembler is doing right now. And I have a whole lot of cable. I might have went a little bit overboard on the fibre. But this is a Certus quartz rods and the molten glass. And then the Fluix cable is the quartz fibre plus Fluix dust. So I've been doing like stacks at a time, and hopefully that should mean that we don't have to batch craft much more. But as you can see, I got most of the components. I got the 2 crafting units, which was the most difficult part. I'm just missing the cables and the processor. Alright, we got all the parts. I think we're now ready to craft our ME controller, finally. So let me just remind myself how this goes here. I'm hoping that we can use Fluix cable instead of glass cable for these, as the recipe for the covered cable requires polytetrafluoroethylene, and we haven't made this yet, so I'm hoping we can get away with not doing this just yet. We will have to do it eventually, and to be honest, it's actually not that bad. It's only 4 or 5 chemical reactors, I think. But yeah, hopefully it lets us use the Fluix one, so let's find out. So I think it was like this, and then the stellar alloy in the middle, energy acceptors in the middle, and okay, energy cells on the bottom. And then energy acceptors, and the crafting units. And then we get attacked by a spider again. I did actually die to one of those guys up there. You can see the latest death while I was crafting all that stuff. But anyways, yeah, we just need to throw in our processor now. And it didn't work. Luckily, I noticed this quest gives us the smart cable. Gives us 16 to begin with. So I'm hoping we can use this stuff. Wait a sec, I think I might have just forgot the stellar alloy. Okay, I swapped out all the cables. Let's try this again. Fingers crossed. Okay, there's still something wrong here. Let me figure this out. Okay, I've tried moving the field projectors in one block to see if that makes a difference. I don't think it will, since I don't think it matters if you have it bigger than the 3x3 that it requires. But let's try this. We're kind of running out of options here, although it might be something quite obvious that I'm missing. We tried the Fluix cables, we tried the smart cables. The only other thing I can think of is I'm using Trousers edition of AE2, so maybe they're different item IDs. Alright, I think I'm going to restart the pack and change my edition of Applied Energistics just to see if that works. I really hope I'm not missing something very obvious here. Alright, so I have restarted the pack. I've loaded the default version of Applied Energistics. Let's see if this works here. Alright, let's try this again. No valid recipe found. Okay. So it must be something I'm doing wrong here. Alright, it turns out it was actually something obvious. I have the crafting unit and the recipe requires the crafting monitor. So there's one more step we have to do, and that is combine it with the storage monitor. So we'll have to make some illuminated panels, which is some aluminium, red alloy, and quartz glass. So let me fix that and let's try this again. And after a quick nether trip for some glowstone, we can get our aluminium plates, red alloy, and quartz glass. There's our illuminated panels. And, oh nice, the 2 stacks of circuits I started have also finished. Yeah, these we're also going to use for terminals as well, so I'll make a few extra. And then we combine those with a level emitter, that gives us our storage monitor. And finally make the right item of the crafting monitor. Okay, let's go and try this multi-block again. Alright, this time does it say valid recipe? Oh, it does, awesome. We just need the processor. And bam. Oh, we even get our cables back, nice. Man, this has been a long time coming. I'm so looking forward to this now. There is our ME controller, and we should get 7 more from the quest. Oh, we haven't even unlocked the quest yet. What are we still missing? Stellar alloy. It wants a planet ID chip. Don't we have one of those? We do. I guess it wants a fresh one. Alright then, let's make the quest book a fresh one. Because I would like to get those quests unlocked. Alright, there's the fresh planet ID chip. That'll complete this quest, and we get a primordial nodule, okay. Then we have to pick up a piece of stellar alloy, which we should have. There we go, and that gives us both of them. And yeah, we get a free 7 ME controllers. And now the fun begins. So now, I'm assuming most of you guys will know how Applied Energistics works and what it can do. But it's very, very powerful logistics mod. And we're going to be incorporating it into our base. And as I mentioned in previous episodes, we're going to be rebuilding this. So yeah, we're going to be moving all of our setups over to a different space and incorporating Applied Energistics. This pack also contains volumetric flasks, I noticed. Under here we have volumetric interfaces, and this basically allows you to craft with fluids. So I'm thinking maybe we actually try this out. Basically there's different amounts, so you can see here we've got like 16 millibuckets, 32 millibuckets, and this will allow you to put this in a custom recipe and use it for on-demand crafting. So that's definitely something I think we'll actually check out in this. And I also want to do fluid storage components. As in Omnifactory, I just used fluid storage buses on containers everywhere. I would like to swap it out and use fluid storage from Applied Energistics and just see how the 2 different ways of doing things compare. But yeah, we first have to decide where we want this controller. See, this is a very important step in the base planning process, as I do want to have this controller block central so that when we run cables everywhere, we're going to want cables in this room, and we'll also need it downstairs, and also, I guess, in our new machine room, which is going to be this way. Let me actually have a little think about how we're going to plan this. Okay, I've got a bit of an idea of how I want this to be, but I think it's a bit easier if I show you rather than try to explain it. So I'm going to do some building here. Alright, so I got the next part of the base laid out here, and I decided to go for like a little walkway around the outside on an upper layer, and we're going to leave this space open, nice and open. Unfortunately, I've run out of stone, so I'll have to get some more of that. Yeah, this is going to be, I think, our new control room. I did say that our machines were going to be moved here, But I think I've changed my mind, and we're going to put our controllers in the middle here. And it might be a little bit longer to run the cables, but that's okay. I think this is going to work out a little bit better. And I also mentioned in my comment section that I would be doing a live stream. I think that's going to be tomorrow. A couple of people said they would be interested in that. And I'm planning to start that at 12 PM on the 2nd. So if you have any thoughts on how we should design this next part of their base, maybe drop in then. And yeah, I guess that means there'll be no episode tomorrow. It'll be live instead. But yeah, I think this is a good point to wrap this episode up. Sorry about the shorter episodes recently. This is just taking me a long time, but hopefully now when we can get autocrafting pretty soon, things will start speeding up. But like I said when I started this, I'm not in a hurry to finish this pack. But yeah, that's going to do it for today. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you soon for some more FTB interactions.